We found the two males. They were already fat and had eaten, and found the best shade in the area underneath a big ebony tree. It was good to see them together and with the pride. A lot of the lions had sort of had enough of eating and started marching towards the males and looking for shade to rest up for the heat of the day. In amongst the vultures, there was one that I haven't seen for quite some time, the white-headed vulture. This guy is particularly beautiful with his blue tinge to his beak and the most incredible eye. There were a couple of lions still feeding on the remainder of the carcass, and from what we could tell, it was a female buffalo. They had eaten almost every last piece of it, and literally just picking at little pieces of sinew and tiny bits of flesh on the skeleton. The whole pride was here. They were spread out. Very little concern with making contact with each other or staying together. They were all just very, very full and very hot and uncomfortable, and just randomly found shade. So now, several days after they finished eating their cow buffalo, these lions were again all together and following up on the very same herd of buffalo. This time they were a little further south than we expected, and were slowly moving back up Gotchateba Island, back up towards our camp. Pride was definitely interested and really looking for an opportunity. Slowly stalking through the grass, watching the herd as it mills, looking for mistakes, looking for individuals that stray too far. Some of the older cubs were right up front, leading the hunt. They are becoming more equipped and more able, and are more eager to get involved in the hunting. One particular lioness almost led this stalking process. She was very focused and moved right up close to where the buffalo were, just positioning herself that if there was an opportunity, that she was ready for it. She eventually ended up only 20 or 30 meters away from the tail end bulls. We must make the most of these buffalo before they disappear into the heart of the delta, into the permanent swamp and out of their territory. If this area dries up anymore, these buffalo are gonna get forced to move away from these lions. As we sat at sunrise with the lions, we knew that the buffalo had finally left. They had crossed out of this pride's territory to Marula. And these lions are going to find it really, really hard to feed their numbers over the next few weeks. It seems to happen every year, and despite the tough time ahead, the pride seems to be in good spirits. Last week we had a lioness that jumped into a tree, and again the same one climbed a tree this morning. The cubs couldn't help themselves but join in on the fun. This is the way they learn skills for hunting in the future. Two of the cubs had injuries on them from the last buffalo encounter. They had been horned and had big gashes, one on the side of his body and the other on his chest and front leg. This is a time when these cubs really join in the hunting, and they have to learn about hunting buffalo, taking risks, and sort of on-the-job training often presents a lot of injury. We found our two males. They had managed to kill this buffalo bull on their own. There was no sign of the pride anywhere. Hooded vultures and whiteback vultures started feeding on the carcass. It was only so long before the male lion had to run in and chase them off. Lions never like vultures. There's a theory that their feces sour the meat. I think it's more basic than that, more about just competition. It's their kill, and only they should eat on it. The males were very fat, obviously spent most of the night eating on this buffalo. Nice cool weather, they just lounged around this carcass and fed at will.